welcome to Pecan Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm going to make scalloped turnips. Okay, it's turnip season, and the turnips that I planted about 6 or 8 weeks ago are ripe, and some of them are well grown and some of them are still small. So that's the nice thing about planting turnips, is as you pull the bigger ones out, that makes more room for the little ones to start growing. So it makes it a lot easier for them you don't have to harvest them all at once. I like that about them. Turnips don't keep as long as potatoes, but they can be used for a lot of things that potatoes would be used for. And one of those is scalloped or au gratin, either one. But today I'm going to make scalloped ones. I've already cut I cut the greens off of these the other day and cooked them. So now I'm going to cut the ends off and I'm going to peel them. These are White Lady turnips. White Lady, I think that's the name of them. I like them. The greens are nicer, I think, than the purple top. Purple top is what everybody usually grows around here. I'm just going to use my my potato peeler and peel them. When you gather your turnips, you need to wash them, wash the dirt off of them, cut the tops off of them, and then put them in the refrigerator right away. If you leave them out, they get soft, and they're still okay, but you know, they're just not as nice as they could be otherwise. Once I get this done, I will the one thing. Let's see. Cut these tops off there. I don't want to put this in my... I'm catching all of these peelings in a bowl, so I'll take it out to the compost. Once I finish getting these all peeled, I'll be back. Okay, I've sliced my onion. I sliced up a full onion, and I'm going to just sweat it in the... You could also do it in the microwave. I just want it to start softening up before I've learned a long time ago that anytime I'm going to bake something that has onions in it, it's really wise to pre-cook the onions and get them soft. They seem to take so much longer to cook than anything else does, and I've had too many years when I'd pull the stuffing out of the oven and the onions might be a little still just a little bit crunchy. So I'm going to put these on the stove and put a lid on them and just get them soft, and then I'll be back. While the onions are cooking, I'm going to let me see here. Okay, got me a better cutting board out. All right. Now that while the onions are cooking, I'm just going to slice my turnips into thin slices. You could use a mandolin if you wanted to, but this will be... Notice how I'm curling my fingers back. Paul taught me how to do that to keep from slicing my fingers off. If they're curled back under the knife, they can't be cut. So I'm going to slice up these turnips into thin slices, and then I'll be back. By the way, I've sliced my turnips, but if yours are too flat to slice, or you're uncomfortable with that, you can just cut them into cubes. That'll be fine too, and you'll just have, it won't look like scalloped potatoes that we're used to, but it'll be fine. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to parboil my turnips so that I won't have to bake them as long. Alright, now then, the reason I'm parboiling my turnips but I'm sauteing my onions is because I want to keep the flavor of the onions, all of that flavor together. The turnips, you don't have to parboil the turnips, but you're going to have to bake them a lot longer. They're going to require probably about an hour in the oven if you don't do that. I'd rather just bake them about 30 minutes. I'm bringing some water to a boil. I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar to the water. That's a nice touch when you're boiling turnips. You can actually just boil turnips and mash them with butter like you would mashed potatoes, and that's delicious too. But I'm going to let these boil for about 5 minutes, and then I'll drain them, and then I'll put my casserole together. Okay, I thought I'd show you really quick how these turnips grow in the garden. These are, see how these are, there we go. Oh, I got some bugs there I got to kill. See how these are growing right next to each other? This one's bigger. This one's bigger than it was when I pulled them the other day. And then this one's smaller. Now as I pull this one out, that one will have more room to grow. Same thing's going on over here. They kind of come up, as they get bigger, they kind of come up out of the ground, like you can see here. You'll start seeing them. You'll start seeing the tops of them exposed out of the ground, and that's your sign that they're getting big enough to be picked. So that's how the turnips look. All right, now I'll go back in and finish cooking ours. Okay, here we go. Now then, I have buttered my baking dish, and I'm going to start by putting about 1/3 of the turnips into the bottom of it. Just cover the bottom, because what I want to do is layer this just like you would your scalloped potatoes. Alright, now I'm going to sprinkle it with about a tablespoon of flour. I'm using Wonder flour because it's made to incorporate into sauces more easily than regular flour does. Something about the way it's ground that does that. So there's about a tablespoon of that, and then just a dot or two of butter, and then of course some salt and pepper. Sprinkle of salt, and a grind of pepper. All right, and now a little butter. I've got a cupful of milk here. I'm going to use cream, but I'm going to pour it over the top. So I poured about a 1/3 of a cup of my milk over that layer. Now I'm going to do the next layer. Oh, my onions. Nearly forgot my onions. See how soft they are? They're really not browned. They've just been cooked until they're soft. So they're super sweet. There we go. Just spread them out in there over the turnips. Okay, now more turnips. There we go. Turnips are so good. These are such an old-fashioned southern southern meal. Just go. Just a dollop. I'm using probably about a teaspoon of butter on each layer. Just, you know, dolloping it out there. It doesn't have to be exact, because it's just going to kind of melt down and incorporate around there. There we go. And some more of our onions. Okay, I'm going to finish off my onions here and then put one last layer of my turnips. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, where's my, oh, here we go. 1 more tablespoon of flour. You can use any kind of flour. If you only have whole wheat, you can use that. That's just fine. Another nice sprinkle, a little bit heavier sprinkle of salt here on the top. There we go. And now the rest of my milk over the top. Get that all over that flour. Alright, now I'm going to add about 1/3 cup of whipping cream. This had a label on it, but it's plastic, and when I opened it up the label fell off, so now I just have this bottle with no label on it. I'm going to pour about 1/3 cup of this over it. You can be generous and do a 1/2 cup if you want. Alright, now I'm going to cover the whole thing with aluminum foil. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to bake it now at 350 for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to remove my my top, and I'm going to bake it for another 15. Be right back. And here we go. They're done, and we're going to have them with some meatloaf. There we go. Alright, there we go. There's scalloped turnips. I hope that you'll enjoy it, and if you like it, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Thanks a bunch.